This is very exciting. One of our favorites. What else has to be said, Leroy? I mean, it feels like a man who needs no introduction, but you could give a ton of introduction. Miami's son, three-time champion, the captain of the Miami Heat, Udonis Haslem, joining us. UD, thank you for the time. Much appreciated.
Thank you guys for having me, man. How you guys doing?
Good. A little cooped up, man. Look, tired of being locked up. Things are starting to open, but not really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could go practice, but you can't practice with your guy.
And for me, that's the toughest part because, being a captain and a guy that mostly brings guys together, I'm trying to lead while guys are kind of separated. So it just kind of makes it a little harder. But, for me, I've always figured out ways to kind of be a star in my role. So it's a different challenge as a captain, but we're going to figure it out. And if the season proceeds, we're going to be ready.
We know it's cool. So we had, I think, Myers Leonard on probably like 3 weeks ago, and he had talked about, getting involved with like the Feeding South Florida, Feeding America because of the piece that you wrote. And so that's got to be pretty cool to you that not only like you're doing on a basketball role, but like you actually have inputted onto these guys, like to give back to the city, which is, why you're joining us here today. You were very passionate in that piece, and it seems like the outpouring of support that came from that has been very, very big. So what's it been like experiencing all of that?
I mean, it's been dope. Honestly, when I speak my mind, it doesn't always come across in a way where people want to, jump on the bandwagon and be along with what I'm saying. So, for the first time, I was actually able to speak my mind, and actually it kind of rubbed people the wrong way, but it rubbed people the wrong way in the right way. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, when the Players Tribune came to me and they spoke to me about it, I told them one thing. I said, listen, I'll do it, but I got to be able to be real and honest and say it in my words. And yeah, I could critique it and touch it up if y'all need to at the end, but that's the first thing. I got to be able to say it in my words. So they gave me a platform to say it in my words, and I said it exactly how I would say it, and they kind of printed it exactly how I said it. It worked out, and I think the impact was amazing. Myers was one of the first people to reach out to me. Shout out to Big Hammer. He was one of the first people to reach out to me and say how he was impacted by it, and immediately how could he help? What could he do? And not just talking about it, but he put his plan into action. And I ain't gonna paint my hair, but we doing a lot of things on this end to make a difference. So I appreciate him for painting his hair and all the money he's raised and really stepping up, man. Myers has been an amazing asset to our team, to the Miami community. For sure.
But you had to be you. Like,
oh, yeah.
For people down here, if that piece would have been any different, like it wouldn't feel right. You know what I mean?
Man. I agree. And coming from me, I think the authenticity about it, was the reason why people respected it. Because at the end of the day, I am the guy that hang out with the janitors and the CEOs, and then I go stand on the corner with the homies. You know what I mean? I am that guy. I really like to be able to touch all levels. And, I've figured out how to kind of be a star and master each role that I've had, and it hasn't been easy. You know what I'm saying? You can have 1 foot in the inner city, and you can have 1 foot here. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't always balance out. So you got to have that balance, man. And for me, it's very important to keep that balance, to be a voice for those people that don't really have a voice on the other side of the bridge a lot of the time.
So you do this Power Forward Through Hunger Sweepstakes. Can you kind of give us a little insight into it? What do you got going on here? It sounds like people got an opportunity to put in a little money, but can win some really cool stuff.
Yeah, Power Forward Through Hunger came through. Shout out to City of Miami, police department, everybody that kind of pitched in. It was kind of like an idea where we're saying, like, what can we do? What can we do? We're out here, we're feeding people, we're helping people, we're donating, we're dropping off food and, different things like that. But what can we really do to kind of, raise the excitement of it? You know what I'm saying? We were very cautious about asking people to give money and donations anytime because everybody's struggling, everybody's suffering. You know what I'm saying? So we don't want to just ask for donations and money during these times. So I was willing to put myself out there and be a huge part of, how we create these opportunities to present money for COVID-19. So I wanted to put myself out there. I'm putting prizes out there, man. And I consider myself the most interesting man in the world. So just know, like, whatever the prize you win, it's going to be fun. It's going to be enjoyable. I mean, we cooking pieces. We talking about playing golf. I can't play no damn golf, but I bet we have a good time out there. We gonna work out. I'm delivering pieces. I'm signing jerseys. We talking about Zoom calls. I mean, everything, man. For me, being a captain for so many years is not just leading people. You got to get to know people. You got to get to know how to lead your guys, man. So for me, I'm a real people person. So I'm interested to see who wins these contests, and I'm interested to get to know these people.
So when did the golf come about, though? Like, were you watching the match with Tom Brady and Tiger Woods, because everybody was seeing Tom Brady struggling up until Chuck was talking trash to him, and then he finally holed one out. So like, how is the UD game going? How long till you're ready to be on the celebrity matchup?
I got a ways to go. But guess what? I could talk more crap than just I could talk enough crap to keep up with those guys for sure. I could talk enough crap to keep up with those guys. Like, the thing I loved about it the most is that I really kind of like got sidetracked on the golf and was paying attention to the trash talking. Peyton Manning is hilarious. I love Peyton Manning.
He is.
He's hilarious. I mean, I had always heard from Adrian James how good of a guy he is, how much of a sense of humor that he has, but he is hilarious. I mean, I really was entertained by watching Peyton Manning go back and forth and, watching those guys. Tiger got a good sense of humor. He came at Tom one time, so I was really intrigued by those guys.
UD, I looked at Phil. I'm like, he's an amateur trash talk.
Yeah. He was definitely. He couldn't keep up with them boys, man.
No.
He ain't want none of that smoke.
How was? I think I saw you on Instagram. You took Bam and JJ out. How was their games?
JJ actually ain't bad. JJ is actually pretty good. JJ is one of those guys where you would think like, okay, he does karate. You hear about the karate, and you know he's an outstanding basketball player. But he's one of those guys that could damn near do anything. JJ can play chess. JJ can play golf. Like, people will underestimate JJ. JJ is a very well-rounded human being and individual, man. He's very smart. So he was actually helping me with my golf game. Kelly's a hell of a golfer, actually. Kelly was out there making birdies. Kale, you are not invited back if you see this. Thank you very much. That we are not out there to make birdies. We're out there to drink and crack jokes.
You too good.
Kale, you are not invited back if you see this, by the way. Bam's terrible just like me, so I think we'll have a few more days out there at the golf together.
Speaking of the football a little bit, your Dolphins drafting Tua Tagovailoa. You were very interactive with the draft. You seem very hyped. You got to experience their whole big draft, very highly anticipated. How excited are you with what they got going on?
So for everybody out there, I've taken back the bandwagon. I've put out on Instagram. We are accepting no more applications for bandwagon riders, guys. You can go back to your cheesy teams right now. It's over with. No more applications. I'm huge. I'm very excited, but not just for the Tua draft, man. I'm just excited of the direction that the organization is going in, with Coach Flo and those guys and everything, the structure that he's implementing. I'm huge on structure. If you're running a team and an organization, you got to have some kind of structure implemented. So I'm huge on that, and I love the structure, the championship structure that he's implementing. You know what I'm saying? And whether people want it to happen faster or it's not happening at their pace, if you're a championship person and you've been around championships, you know what it takes. You're seeing the building blocks being put down and set for these guys to start moving in the right direction. So I'm excited about it. For so many years, people have always questioned draft picks and organization decisions and different things like that. And right now, I'm thinking that we're headed in the right direction.
Now, let me ask you this, UD, because, a lot of times people comment on the draft years later. And I always tell people, at the time, you might draft the right person, but because of the structure that you have and the way your organization is set up, that person can't flourish. So years down the line, it looks like a bad draft pick. What do you think is more important, the player or the structure? I know you need a little bit of both, but can you have a great player without great structure?
I think it's the structure. I would say it's the structure, and I would say because, when I first got in this league, and I'll never forget something Alonzo Mourning told me. He said every player in this league is one trade, one injury, and one coach away from being an all-star, a role player, or out of the league. Literally, one trade to one coach can change your career. I was actually watching a documentary the other night, and Wayne Gretzky was talking about, when he got drafted, and he was saying that it possibly could have not been a Wayne Gretzky, depending on who drafted me, because my coach knew that the best defense for me was to put the puck in my hand. My coach knew that I wasn't a defensive player. He didn't bring me there and try to make me play defense. He knew that the best defense for me was to put the puck in my hand. So he was very upfront and honest to say that if I got drafted by another coach, I might not be sitting here today as Wayne Gretzky, because he could have tried to make me become a defensive player, or he could have tried to add that to my game when the coach that I had knew that I was just great with the puck in my hand and that was my best defense. So I think the structure is more so important than just the talent of a player, because, coaches control playing time, coaches control plays, coaches control all that.
Do you guys feel like you've had that kind of does it need like that right mix too? Because it feels like your locker room's really vibed well this year. You got a lot of guys that kind of came from. I would just say that a lot of guys who've been overlooked at some point, maybe not like to the idea of undrafted, but like Jimmy's the bottom of the draft guy. Bam's coming to his own. He's a middle of the draft guy. Tyler comes in middle of the draft guy. And I don't know, you guys just seem like you've had a good vibe there. Obviously winning helps and you guys have had a lot of success, but did you kind of know going into it? It's like, I think that this may work pretty good because a lot of guys were going to be in new places and new positions and have different responsibilities.
I mean, you never know. You never know, but I think that's why me as the captain and the coaching staff, we got an open relationship. Me and Spo talk all the time. I reach out to Spo, before he even has to reach out to me on certain things that I know need to be taken care of or something that needs to be addressed in the locker room or with a guy or a teammate. So, that's more so us, policing that, because through an NBA season, you're going to have ups and downs, but you definitely got to have the right kind of guys in the locker room. And I will give kudos to the organization. We definitely have the right kind of guys in our locker room. And from that point on, it's up to me and Spo and the coaching staff to make sure we continue to, put those guys in the right frame of mind and emotion. It's not always easy. I tell you that. It's not always easy, but we got good guys, man. We got good structure. We got good leadership, and they're falling in line with the culture, and that's soothing for me as I continue to pivot into other things. It's a damn flying here, fellas. I'm sorry about that. You stay out here, that damn Davy. You open your door for 5 seconds.
Yep.
You don't know what you don't know what the hell might come in. 5 seconds. Literally, you might have an alligator in your house. But yeah, so we implemented that structure. We got the right kind of guys, man. So it all works together.
I saw on that Nate Robinson show. You still got that shark? Is that thing? You got that?
Yeah, I still got Heidi, man. Heidi, the only person in here listening to me. Heidi and my dogs, but I got to keep them outside.
Did that take convincing to get the shark? Like what? It's that thing looks like it's going to be a monster.
It was a financial decision, man. You see, they charge you like $1,500 for a little ass fish like this big, bro, and they don't tell you that they die every other week. Like literally, I was like, okay, a shark never dies. It eats anything, but it's one-time payment, and it takes care of it, and I don't have to keep buying fish, so it was definitely a financial decision.
The funniest thing about that video was that Nate couldn't reach the top of the tank.
Man, listen. Yo,
he was alley-ooping the fish in the tank.
Man, that was hilarious, man. They came over here literally. I don't even have a stepping stool except for nobody but my kids, and I don't let my kids feed the shark. But literally, Nate would have had to use the stepping stool if he would have wanted to feed the shark. He ain't want none of that. Trust me, that was the day Nate was happy to be short. That was the day Nate was happy to be short.
Man, that's crazy. All right, we got some rapid fire for you right before we get you out of here, UD. First thought when you saw Tyler Herro's braids.
Man. What the hell is he going? What the hell is going on? Quarantine. He got quarantine that turned his brain into applesauce. When you're 22, when you're 19, 20 years old, and you locked in the house for 2-3 months straight, man, it's a lot going on inside you internally, man. You're trying to figure a lot out, man. I just figured he was just trying to express himself.
He didn't have his support staff to steer him in the right direction, because if he would have came up in the locker room like that, it would have lasted till lunch.
Yeah, I probably would have cut that out myself.
We always say it's like that guy. I don't even understand how anybody could be a star NBA player in Miami at that age. Like, I mean, I'm sure it was crazy when you and Wade were winning the championships early on with just like the whole city open to you. But it's got to just be bananas. 20 years old and you're having success right away. I mean, he's got to have so much stuff flying at him that they got. I remember, I think I heard one time in the locker room as we were leaving, Jimmy's like, "Just go home, Tyler. Just go home," because he probably knew after hitting one of them big shots. I think it was the one where he hit the big one against the Bulls, and it's just like, just go home, because I'm sure the world would be his oyster if he wanted to be that night on South Beach.
Yeah, you'd be surprised, man. He's a pretty laid back, quiet, humble, modest kid. But Miami can be overwhelming, to say the least. So I spend a lot of time in his ear. I can't tell him everything to do, but I pick his brain on a lot of things, and not just basketball, life, women, everything. We talk about it all. You know what I'm saying? I pick his brains on a lot of things. I just want to make sure that he stays focused, but also, continues to maturate and enjoy the NBA life.
All right, is Udonis Haslem pickles? You a pickle guy? Pickles, thumbs up, thumbs
Love
down.
pickles, bro. Love them.
Told you, man. Get out of here.
Love them.
He don't like
What are you
pickles.
What are you talking about, bro?
They're terrible. They're not an enhancer. They take away the sandwich, man. Like it's.
No, they don't.
You know what it is? You still got a headache from when you tried to run up that thing the other day. That's what happened. you ain't thinking right. You ain't thinking right. That's why you don't like pickles. You down there broke your neck. You ain't thinking right.
No, man.
Hey, you did. Was that not one of the most unathletic things you have seen?
Say something. I appreciate. That literally got me through one day of quarantine. I appreciate that.
I'm glad
I just kept watching.
Man, because they give you these damn frog socks. It gave me a false sense of security. I was like, maybe I can't make it up that thing. Nope.
No,
listen, I don't give it. You would have had to be a frog, not the frog sock. You didn't have a chance. You didn't have a chance.
No shot whatsoever. Salmon. Are you a salmon guy?
Not much of a salmon guy, man. It's a little dry. It's a little dry for me. Depends on how you make it, but I'm not a huge salmon guy.
All right. And finally, the idea with the NBA goggles. Would you ever like to see somebody bring back the NBA goggles? We were talking about this. It's out of style now. We were watching the Horace Grant. Nobody goes. Somebody mentioned Amari. He did have them, but they looked a little bit more modern. Would you like to see the NBA goggles make a comeback?
Wow. Why not? Why not? I mean, we see everything else going on out here, man. Who knows what the hell they're going to put on?
They got LASIK now.
Yeah, listen,
I'm glad.
Compared to what they wear to the game, I would much rather see somebody wearing goggles than that. Put it that way. If I had to choose, I'd pick that.
You did. I could tell you've been around for a minute. Welcome to the club. I see you got a little,
sure. I'm
like a little grade out there. I'm
embracing the salt and pepper, baby. I'm embracing
all right.
it. No question. Yeah, for sure. I ain't got time to be putting that midnight cocoa bean in there every other week.
Yeah.
Hey, and if you start losing hair up top, don't do that LeBron.
Oh, man. There you go. I don't know what you're talking about. All I know is the best player in the world. All I know is the best player in the world came to play. And if what he had to do before the game to get his mind right, whatever it was, we left it alone.
Did you and D Wade like elbow each other? Say, hey man, on Tuesday.
Listen, we just know if we rattle this man cage, we might lose. So we left him alone. He was the one that was off limit. Everybody else got dragged, but we left him alone.
Come on, man. You had to say something.
Man, listen, we lose him and we rattle that cage and we lose him, Pat would have killed us. We left Ron alone.
Oh man, I want to ask you because I saw this was the anniversary of this yesterday. The Lance Stevenson blowing in the ear. What'd you say to him on the sidelines? That's one of my favorite gifts of all time. Of you just talking to John at Lance.
You want to know my exact words, or would you like?
No, exactly. I don't have FCC to worry about right now, so you're good.
Oh, okay. I told him, I said I already got a couple of championships. I already got rebounded records. I ain't got much to lose. I'll whoop your ass.
Hey, there's certain people in any field of play that when they come down and whisper them sweet nothings in your ear, you get some get right.
Yeah. And I meant that. I mean, like I say, man, I love the game of basketball and I compete at the highest level, but I do not disrespect anybody on the basketball. Right. I compete at the highest level. I mean, it's almost a controlled rage the way I compete. I do not disrespect anybody. And I just don't believe that just because we're playing a basketball game, that you get the right to say things that you wouldn't normally say or that you don't want say it to you. I just don't agree with that. That's not the way I was raised. That's just not my nature.
We got the Power Forward Through Hunger sweepstakes going on. It's going on through June 2nd. You guys can still enter. And as Udonis Haslem has told you, you guys got some opportunity to win some pretty awesome prizes. Zoom calls with them, a chance to work out with them, golf with them, some pretty awesome stuff. UD, anything else you want to let people know about the charity or the sweepstakes before we let you out of here?
Nah, man, just keep going on, keep donating. Go to my page, at UD40, and then click the link in the bio. And you can figure out how to donate to Power Forward Through Hunger. Like I said, it's gonna be fun. Trust me. not just one of these guys that's doing it just to do it. You know, if my heart wasn't in it, I wouldn't do it. So it's going to be a fun experience for whoever wins.
UD, thanks for the time, man.
Man.
Can't wait to
Stay
see you guys
safe.
back. We hope it's soon, but until then, enjoy quarantine and try and stay sane.
Thank you guys, Leroy, Brandon. Thank you guys, Leroy. I'm
All
gonna have it together by the time you see me.
I see. All right, I got you.
And Brandon, next time I talk to you, man, I'm gonna make sure you get halfway up that wall. We get more progress.
I appreciate it, man. help me not embarrass myself in front of my kids and wife. I appreciate that, man.
All right, guys, take it easy. Thank
See you, man.
Alrighty.